All right, just wanted to do a quick video, having a discussion with a friend on how I think feminism is going to come to an end here in the very near future. I think it's failing in my view, and here's why. So, like, when it comes to like the dating marketplace, as far as the consensus on how men view women, I feel like the most desirable type of woman is a traditional woman. You know, kind of old-fashioned. Like that's like, and it's exceedingly rare now because of feminism. So I feel like that's kind of like the Ferrari, Lamborghini of women, if you can find one of those. And here's the thing: if you're looking for that, you're gonna have to catch one in their 20s. Like, you know, probably 25 to 29 is gonna be the close of that window. The male single bachelor is not allowing that type of woman to make it to 30 without, you know, rings, weddings, and houses being thrown at them, just because there's so few. And guys in their 20s, 30s, and 40s are competing for that type of woman. You know, like, you know, type of one you marry, build a family with, or whatnot. And they know, you know, they're not going to be available in their 30s. They're taken off the market, and there's so few of them. And so that's one thing. The next group I would say would be like modern women. Problem with modern women is like they still want you to be a traditional man, but their role's more fluid. So they're not like, you know, hardcore feminists or anything, where they just like, sometimes they want to be more feminist, sometimes more independent. So it's kind of, it's not consistent, but they do expect you to be consistent. If you have a role of a provider or opening doors or treating for dates or provisioning, whatever it is, whatever your role is, they want you to be that 100% of the time, but their role is kind of conditional depending on how they feel. And so that could probably be one of the more frustrating types of women to date, only because you feel like, you know, you're doing your part 100% of the time, and she might only be doing her part, you know, half the time or 60% of the time or what have you. So unlike the traditional woman who thinks, you know, they want their man to be in his masculine role 100% of the time, but she's also willing to be in her feminine role 100% of the time. And so then the last group, which is the group I think that's going to take down the feminism movement, are feminists. So feminists are now in two groups, two opposing groups. So so like women on like OnlyFans, for example, or that are in adult film industry, or, you know, Instagram, or like just young women that are using their beauty to like exploit guys for resources, whether it's like direct payment or just getting flown out and on trips or expensive dinners or whatnot, that are like trying to capitalize on their beauty for financial gain. They consider themselves feminism, like liberated, want to do their own thing and don't want to be judged, no slut shaming, whatnot. But they are all about being objectified for financial gain, right? Then on the other side of that coin is the other portion of feminism, with the exact opposite of this group. They do not want to be objectified, and if you objectify them, they're trying to cancel your present and your future. And so it's weird that, and they're both feminists with like exactly opposing viewpoints on how they approach life. And so you would think, well, maybe you could tell the difference by how they dress. You can't. So now the one that's looking to be objectified may dress in a provocative way because they're looking to be objectified and want to exploit men. The other one may choose to dress in a provocative way and will be offended if you think just because they're dressing in a provocative way that they want sexual attention. So it's very hard to tell them apart. And so I'd be curious if someone could do a poll on like happiness, right? I have a feeling the happiest of these four groups, traditional women, modern women, feminism that feminists that want to be objectified, feminists that refuse to be objectified, of those four, I have a feeling the traditional woman is probably the happiest. So there was some segment where right now the least happy segment in society by gender and age range are women unmarried with no children in their 40s. And so those are going to be 100% feminists, you know, that kind of focused on their career or independent, didn't really need a guy. And a quarter of them are on medication for anxiety or depression. So I have a feeling that we're just getting to the point now where the movement's been around long enough where people that were in their 20s or 30s are now entering their 40s and 50s. And I have a feeling there's going to be some regret there, that maybe this wasn't such a great idea. That maybe traditional roles, like it's been since the beginning of time, and in the majority of the world currently, outside of the Western world, is better functionality for the family and for society. So I think they're going to slowly implode. And right now, some traditional women are taking offense to feminism, because now they're not getting treated as nicely, because guys are so afraid, don't know what to do. Like, do I open the door for you? Do I not? Do I treat for dinner? Do I not? I don't want to offend you. I don't want to turn you off. And so guys are confused because they might not be able to easily identify what type of woman you are. And so one group might demand something, and doing that same thing for another group might offend them. And so if you don't know the difference, it's like, what do you do? And so a lot more guys are going Dutch on dates, and are more being gender neutral. And traditional women don't like that because they want a traditional man. So they're upset with feminism for kind of messing things up for them. And then you have like feminism itself, which is leading to unhappiness. And I feel like when the objectified group of feminism gets a little older, when they can't really exploit their beauty for financial gain anymore, and they get into their 30s and 40s, and miss that window maybe of getting married and having children before. I think 90% of the eggs are dead for women somewhere in like the early 30s. They may have some sadness or depression or anxiety there as well. So it just seems like there aren't a lot of examples of hyper feminism leading to happiness for the women themselves. You see a lot of these women now in their 40s making six figures in a big house that echoes when they talk to themselves because no one else is there. And so, I wonder, if you were to interview some of these women and ask them, hey, if you could go back, you think you'd be more happy being a more traditional woman if a large portion of them wouldn't say yes. Anyway, it's an interesting debate, and something to think about. But I have a feeling it's going to implode, and so we'll have to wait and see. All right, till next time, be different.